What's up? Hey, it's your man Harkon Ajala, aka the Bad Boy Genius, your uncensored and untamed, as always, host of Smart Black People TV. And listen, we gotta talk about this. Neil deGRASSE Tyson, celebrity astrophysicist extraordinaire and card-carrying smart black person accused of sexual assault, misconduct, and rape. And is there an unintended but deadly danger to the MeToo movement? Let's get into it right now. Okay, number one, make sure you like and subscribe because we give away shit every week. 27 hearts. This is really crazy. So let me just say this. I want to start this off by qualifying it with a few statements, because there's some people that are not going to be happy with some of the things I'm going to say. But the truth of the matter is, as a smart black person, as an enlightened person, as an open-minded person, we got to deal with things the way they are, not the way we want them to be. Okay? So let me qualify this by saying a couple things. Number one, I have no idea whether Neil deGRASSE Tyson did the things that he's being accused of or not. I have no idea. I don't think anyone does except Neil deGRASSE Tyson and the women who have accused him. Okay? But I also want to say that as far as the MeToo movement goes, I am in favor of it in principle. Okay? I have people close to me, people in my family, people I've known my whole life, people who are great friends of mine who have been sexually assaulted and raped women. Okay? So I am absolutely 100% in favor of completely punishing and bringing to justice any motherfucker who has raped any person, any woman or man, okay, who has sexually assaulted any woman or man. I also have talked directly to a lot of women in particular who have been raped or sexually assaulted, and I've heard from their mouths their reasoning for why they didn't come forward earlier. And you know, this was something that, as a man, maybe because I'm a man, but this is something that for me, I just never could really get my mind wrapped around. Like, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you go to the police, et cetera, et cetera? And you know, a lot of women have given me a lot of different reasons, what they were feeling, what they were thinking. I think we have all seen instances where women coming forward and making allegations have been attacked. Their careers have been attacked, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I understand the obstacles and the dangers that are there for women coming forward. Okay, I really do. But I have to tell you, here is the problem with the Me Too movement. It's an unintended danger, but even though it's unintended, it is deadly. And that is the simple fact that the way things are going right now, very simple and very easy for anybody to simply make a public allegation and say that anybody, include me or anybody else, including me, raped them, sexually assaulted them, touched their breasts, whatever, back in 1985. And society immediately reacts and often starts to socially convict the person who's been accused. And that's a fucking problem. That's a fucking problem. It's just not fair. Like, so let's backtrack a little bit. I'm not going to get into the details of what really happened, what these ladies say happened between them and Neil deGRASSE Tyson, because you can go out and you can read that stuff. But I will tell you this. The lady who says that he raped her, she says that happened in 1984, I believe. Folks, that's 34 years ago. One of the ladies said something happened in 2018. I think that's the lady who said that he fondled her breast or something when she asked him, she was taking a picture with him or what have you. And the third lady, I think, and again, you can go get the details of her allegations. She said that he sexually harassed her, invited her back to his apartment for wine and cheese, and then he, made a pass at her or what have you. She was his production assistant. Again, I'm not trying to minimize what they're saying or what they've said, okay? But this is a really interesting situation because Neil deGrasse Tyson is extremely popular and very well liked. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I'm all about the way human nature works and the way human psychology works. One of the things that humans deal with are what are called cognitive biases. These are ways that our brains work that are biased. It's a natural occurring thing. Our brains have biases in certain ways, and these happen to help us actually survive, but unfortunately they create problems. There's nothing we can really do about it except to be aware of them so that we can counteract them and think our way out of them consciously, okay? But one of the 25 main cognitive biases, little tricks that our minds play on us, is the liking-disliking bias. And basically what that means is that when you like somebody, you are much more likely and compelled to believe them than when you dislike somebody. When you dislike somebody, you're much more compelled not to believe what they say or to believe the worst about them, regardless of the evidence or lack thereof. Does that make sense? Like, take Donald Trump. I hate the motherfucker's guts. So, and not on a personal level, but based on his behavior. Okay. So it's very difficult for me to see anything positive. If Donald Trump says something, it might make sense. It's very difficult for me to accept that it makes sense because I hate the dude. You with me? So I have to consciously be aware of that so that if and when sometime in the next 100 years or before he dies, Donald Trump actually does say something that makes a lot of sense, I'll be able to recognize it and say, hey, that makes sense. I don't like this guy. 99% of the other shit that he says is ridiculous or hate-filled or counterproductive. But that one thing there is a good thing. It makes sense. Okay, so there's a good example how liking, disliking, cognitive biases works. So that being said, of course, like I said, Neil deGrasse Tyson is almost universally liked and very popular. So it'll be interesting to see how much traction these allegations get. Do they derail his career in any way with him being so popular? We'll have to kind of wait and see on that. He has issued a rebuttal to these allegations. You can go read that. I believe it's on his Facebook page. And he's pretty detailed, although one of the things that he says is kind of strange, and it kind of made me go, because I think that he said that to his production assistant once he told her, I don't want to give you a hug because I might want more. So obviously, he was feeling some kind of way towards her. But again, you can go read his stuff and I guess make up your own mind, even though the idea that we have to make up our own mind about these allegations is part of what bothers me. Because here's the thing. As I said before, there's a real fucking problem with the MeToo movement. And it's the same problem that all of these hashtag quote unquote movements have, because they're leaderless movements, so to speak. And here's the problem with leaderless movements. There's some good things about it. You don't have that one person that can be corrupted or killed or what have you and just derail the movement. But one of the big downsides is that anybody can post or say anything they want to and say, yeah, I'm part of the MeToo movement. So the whole thing is rife with the possibility of shit going off the rails or going sideways. And I think the real unintended danger that could be a fatal flaw of the MeToo movement is that it's open for people to weaponize these allegations just to try to take out people who they don't like or they want to oppose for whatever reason. Okay, the reason could have nothing to do with the empowerment or the protection of women or sexual assault victims. You with me? So again, I know a lot of people, this rubs the wrong way, but I just gotta be real with you. Like, we gotta think about this shit with common sense and just being fair. It is not fucking fair for someone to just be able to make some allegations about whoever they want to, and then all of a sudden society now has to pick sides, and you know, business partners have to back off and disavow people, and people have to lose their livelihood and their businesses and their etc. I mean, that is not fucking fair. The system of law is set up the way it's set up for a reason. It's not fucking perfect, okay? Far from it. But just because you feel some sort of way is not proof. Now, here's what I would say, okay? For the MeToo movement, for the women and the people who are a part of the MeToo movement, strong advocates of the MeToo movement, and I count myself among those people, as long as it's done fairly and it's done with integrity. Here's the thing that I think we got to do. It's time that we just have to do this. We just have to agree, women, men, if you've been raped, whatever, whoever, sexual assault victims, here's what we all just got to agree upon. If you're raped, sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, whatever it is, you have to fucking report it to the authorities immediately. We have to just agree on this. You gotta report that shit immediately. We just gotta all agree that, look, you just can't, if you're coming back 30 years later, if it really happened to you, we're sorry for it. But, you know, like in any other situation, you had your opportunity to address if you were wronged, so that society has the opportunity to look at evidence and not just he said, she said. Otherwise, it's not fair. It's not fair for a person to have to lose everything, their livelihood and all this other shit, because of he said, she said. You know, I see a lot of women who say, we believe women. We believe women, period. That's fucking bullshit. What are you talking about? No. You can't just believe any woman who says so-and-so raped me, so-and-so sexually assaulted me. You can't just arbitrarily believe a woman just because they're a woman. That's not helping the movement. That's not helping bring justice to sexual assault and rape victims. What that's doing is undermining the movement. Because the first time a high profile case comes along and somebody accuses somebody, and then it is found out beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're lying, and you've all run and backed them and said, we believe her, and you're a piece of shit, chauvinist, misogynist if you don't. The first time that happens, the whole fucking thing is fucked. The whole MeToo movement is fucked. So if you really care about protecting and empowering sexual assault victims and rape victims, we need to hold them accountable for really being courageous. I hear a lot of people say, oh, they're so courageous they came forth. It's not fucking courageous to come forth 30 years later, folks. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not courageous for, it wouldn't have been courageous for Rosa Parks to 30 years later be like, you know what? Somebody told me to sit in the back of the bus, and you know what? I've decided today that that was wrong of them, and I'm no longer going to sit in the back of buses. That ain't fucking courageous. It's not courageous to say, well, I'm coming out now because somebody else came out. It was courageous of Rosa Parks because she did that shit at the time and was willing to accept the consequences. That's courageousness. That's a hero. So I am not here trying to say that there may not be negative consequences to making a report when you have been raped or sexually assaulted, going to the police, going to the media, whatever it is, and having a rape kit done, having an investigation done so that we have some evidence. I'm not here to say that there won't be any negative consequences for you, but I am here to say that if you really care about protecting and empowering sexual assault victims, women who have been raped and sexually assaulted, you got to step up to the plate like Rosa Parks did, like Harriet Tubman did, like a lot of women have done in the past, and actually be courageous enough to put yourself on the line and face some consequences of doing what's fucking right. Because that's what you want society and men to do. Do what's right. So report that shit so that we don't have to believe you. We can believe the evidence. Are you with me? Then we can stop this shit from happening. But if we don't insist upon that, then what we do is we set it up for people to weaponize accusing people. Oh, I don't like that motherfucker. I'm just going to say that he did this, or he raped me, or he said this, or so on, or she did this, or she did that. Look, it'll go there as well. It may not be as effective, but that shit can happen as well. We cannot open a Pandora's box that allows people to simply destroy people socially based on accusations. That shit's not fair, and it is not just, and it does not serve the interests of the many, many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of women who have been sexually assaulted, raped, date raped, sexually harassed, etc., etc. Let's do what's really right and get this shit right, and make the people who are the offenders, the perpetrators, the rapists, the assaulters, make them fucking pay. Report that shit. Then we don't have to worry about, well, why did this person come forward 30 years later? Because I'm telling you, I mean, I've heard all the reasonings, and some of them are compelling, but there's always another side of the coin. And just as compelling as some of those reasons are, there are also many reasons, many logical reasons to say, yeah, there could be other motives and alternatives for the reason you didn't say shit, which is one of them being the shit didn't really happen and now you're just making it up. Or, you know, you want attention, you want press, you want revenge, you want to stop somebody who you disagree with from succeeding. It could be all kinds of shit. The possibility is there. And we have to look at both sides of the coin and be fair to everybody. So I'm with the MeToo movement 100%. If it's done fairly, if it's done with real courage, come forward. We are not going to just believe you just because you make an allegation. That is absolutely not fair or just. So all I can say is let's look and see what happens to Neil deGrasse Tyson. If he raped this lady and did this shit, I hope some evidence comes forward and he's found out and punished for it, serves the consequences for it. If this shit didn't happen, I hope that evidence comes forward that proves that it didn't, because with the social climate that we are in right now, if no evidence comes forward either way, he is still going to suffer some consequences, even for unproven allegations. And that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit for anybody, even motherfuckers that I don't like. Like I said, whether I like somebody or don't like them, the truth is still the truth. What's right is still what's right. As Malcolm X used to say, what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. Doesn't matter who the person is. All right. So I appreciate you being here. Again, make sure you like and subscribe, because we give away shit every week. Okay, share this video and hit me in the comments below. Let me know, am I off base? If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. We can have some conversation, but we'll do it as smart black people as always. So always remember, the smart black people credo: ain't nobody gonna save us but us. We gotta be enlightened, because to be enlightened is to be awake. And if you're not awake, you're asleep. And as the great Nas once said, sleep is the cousin of death. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.